Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to do a scrolling background and a parallax effect on Scratch. So here I've got a project open. All it has is this background and two costumes. To have a good scrolling effect, you want to make sure that each end lines up with the other side. So I'm just going to draw this red line here. As you can see, the sprite ends about at the same point each side. So if you use your own sprites, make sure they line up like that. Now, second issue with Scratch is a lot of the time when you try and scroll costumes or sprites past the edge of the screen, they will get stuck and you'll see them like popping out of the side. We don't want that happening with scrolling. So to fix that, there's a little trick you can do. Make sure you are in vector mode with your image, and you just want to do a big square. Choose square and make sure the fill and the outline are empty, and then you want to draw a big square over the entire costume. Make sure it's a little bit larger than the actual visible area. This will make sure that when you try and scroll past the screen, it's going to go that little bit extra and you won't be able to see it. So make sure you add that to all your layers, this one too. So this one already has it over the top. Alright, once you've got your costume set up like this, we can start to add the scripts. So the first thing you want to do is add 3 different variables. First one I'm going to name scroll X and make sure it's for all sprites. This will control basically how fast, how far, and everything that your background is scrolling. A trick for this is you want to double click this until it gets to this slider. This will allow you to actually control it before you run the game. Right click that, you can change the range. I'm just going to quickly change it to this just for testing if we need to test the background. So now you can slide it up and down. Alright, now we need another variable. You want to call this one offset X. We'll use that later. I'll show you what that does. And we need one more called layer, and this is going to be for this sprite only. Same with offset X, we want just for this sprite only. Alright, now we're going to add the code to actually create these images. So first you want to have a green flag clicked, and we're going to add a custom block to create these. So custom block, call it create layers, and go add input. Call this layer count or something like that, and this will basically be how many layers are created. Make sure that runs without screen refresh. Drag that over here and link this one up there. Now we're going to create 2 layers for now because we have 2 costumes, but if you have more, add more. That's going to work fine. Now to actually finish this, we need to add a repeat and drag this into there. We need to set our layer to the layer count as well, and drag a change layer by -1. We want to show at the start and then hide the original sprite at the end, and then we just want to create our clones. Drag in the offset variable. That is basically how far it's going to be pushed in the X direction to create a seamless effect. So we want to start with 0 because there's no offset, and the next sprite will have 480 because that is the width of each sprite, which is 480. It says more because of the hidden square, but a Scratch window is 480 by 360 pixels. So we want to add 480 there. And that is it for that script. We can move on. We can take these out now. Now we can put the scroll X into the top just to reset it every time we start the game. Now we want to actually create a game loop which will run everything. To do this, you just want a forever loop and a broadcast. Call it game loop and drag that into there. And that's it for now. That will run, create the scripts, and alright, let's test that and see what happens. So we can see our sprite is here. It's a bit low, so we can fix that. We can hide these and move this. Alright, so nothing's happening yet. That's because we haven't made the motion yet. So first, let's add some positioning to our sprites. To do this, we just want to use that game loop broadcast that we created here and go into motion, drag this in. Now I just want to put a scroll X plus offset X. We can put our Y to whatever we want. I'm going to start with -140. So we just see the top. This will depend on your sprite, so adjust it as needed. Now let's see what happens here. We can see our costume moving nicely, but it eventually gets chopped off, which we want to fix. But the sprite is going past the edge of the screen, which is good. We can't see it getting stuck. Now if we didn't have that square on, you would see it gets stuck. It doesn't go past there, and you can see it on the edge, which we don't want. So add those back, and now it will easily go past, no worries. Alright, now let's fix it so it continues on forever. This is pretty easy to do. All we need is to use a modulo block. Use modulo, and we want to put our scroll X into there and use 480. This is working, but it is looping at the wrong spot. To fix this, we just want to simply take away 480 from that, and that will center it back more towards the middle of the screen. And there we go. Seamless scrolling. But we can't see our other layer. Where's that gone? It's just right at the moment, it's just hiding behind our first layer. To fix this, we just want to adjust the Y position for each layer following the first one. To do this, you just want to do a plus your layer number and then just a random amount. Now you can see there's two layers, but they're the same. So we just want to switch the costume to the layer. Now we have layer 1, layer 2 at the back, and they're both scrolling. For a nice parallax effect, you generally want the further away layers to move slower than the up front layers. This creates a nice depth effect. So to do this, very easy. You just want to grab this one. You just want to divide scroll X by the layer. Now, as you can see, there's a nice depth parallax effect going on. And that's pretty much it for the engine. This is all set up easily to add onto now. I'll show you how to add a new layer. You can just duplicate this one, delete this, and draw your own new layer. Just gonna maybe do some city buildings. Again, make sure they match each side and have a big square around it. Try and keep your actual image inside this little square. It doesn't have to be perfect though. Now we got 3 layers. All you have to do is type 3 into there, and there we go. Another layer has been added. Now all we have to do is right click this, hide, and there we go. To make it auto scroll, if you want to use this scroll X, change it by whatever value. The higher the number, the faster it's going to move. And you can do things like by the mouse, so move that way or that way. Have fun with it. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.